These days, it hasn't been cheaper to travel the world. I'm gonna share with you my tips, tricks, and a travel hack that I use to get a good deal. Price is usually the biggest deterrent that keeps people from traveling. Nowadays, cheap flights are everywhere. For example, I live in New York City, and if I pay more than $500 for a flight to Europe, I feel like I'm getting ripped off. That wasn't the case a few years ago. Nowadays, $400 flights to Europe are the new normal, it seems. So here are my tips on how you can get a good deal. Number one, you have to be flexible. Be flexible with your travel dates, be flexible with your airports, be flexible with your airlines. You just have to be flexible all around. Sometimes picking a flight that departs during the week is a lot cheaper than a flight on the weekends. Flights on the weekend are often more expensive because people usually are off, and that's when they choose to do their traveling. So you just have to try to go during those off-peak hours, and you'll most likely get a good deal. You also have to be flexible in choosing your airports. Take, for example, New York City. We have 3 different airports in a pretty short distance from each other. We have LaGuardia, Newark, and JFK. If you search for flights that are leaving from NYC rather than a specific airport, you're searching for 3 different airports at the same time. And that way, you can see which one is offering the cheapest flights. You can also do this with your arrival city. London and Paris, for example, have multiple airports that are pretty close to the city center. So if you just type in PAR or Paris into the airport code, you'll be searching for those airports. In London, LON. This way, you'll be searching across multiple airports to see which one has the cheapest flight. One thing to take into account though is how far that airport is from where you're going to be staying. If an airport is a little further out and is only moderately cheaper, take into account the transportation costs and the convenience. If you're not saving that much money, you might as well book the airport that's closer. Number 2, play travel roulette. Basically, be open to new destinations and new experiences. Sometimes the cities that are cheaper, or sometimes the countries that are cheaper, are not the ones that you necessarily want to travel to. But have an open mind and try those places out, because you might have a really good experience. I did this one time when I was trying to plan a trip. I was looking for a more party, beachy atmosphere, but at the time, China was the cheapest place to go to. So I was like, you know what? Let's take a trip to China. Let's see what all that's about over there. So we went over there. It was amazing. It was one of the best trips I've ever taken. Number 3 is joining a mailing list and following the right accounts on social media. Playing travel roulette is awesome, but being on a mailing list makes sure that you never miss any deals to random destinations. My favorite mailing list is Scott's Cheap Flights. You should join Scott's Cheap Flights. There's 2 different membership tiers. There's a free version that sends you emails periodically, and then there's a paid version that's $39 a year that is awesome. They'll send you a lot more emails so you won't miss anything. $39 might sound like a lot of money, but if you think about it this way, if you just book one flight a year from that mailing list, that's going to be a lot more money that you'll be saving than that $39. So definitely go ahead and do that. Some accounts that you should follow on Twitter are TPG Alerts, Airfare Watchdog, and The Flight Deal. There are a bunch of websites that I use to try to get a good deal, and Google Flights is my number 1 resource. Google Flights is a very powerful website, and it gives you a bunch of search parameters and constraints so that you can search for the perfect flight. It's probably the easiest way to look up when it's cheapest to travel to a particular destination. What I love about it is the flexibility in the ways you can search. Say you have a window to travel from April 2nd to April 10th, but you don't know where to go. You can type in those search parameters and then look at the map of the world to see where you can go during those dates and what price it'll cost you. It's pretty cool to see where your money can take you. What's cool is that you can filter through some options like airline alliance if you care about status, if you want a nonstop flight, price, and even travel times. This has changed the way I look up travel, and it puts a lot of destinations that I didn't think I'll be going to anytime soon in perspective. Google Flights is really cool, and it's changed the way I look for flights. Another good option is alltheflightdeals.com. This is a really cool site, and it allows you to customize the deals you see by allowing you to filter through regions and origin airports. It's a free site, so there's no reason why you can't pop in every once in a while. It's definitely worth a peep. Skyscanner is another good one. Similar to Google Flights, it allows you to do general searches, and it puts destinations that you might not have considered within reach. One site that's really cool, if you don't mind booking through third parties and not the airline directly, is Momondo.com. Momondo is an aggregator, So it collects data from a bunch of different websites and it searches all of them and allows you to see which one is offering you the best price on a flight. Sometimes the sites that come up might look a little shady, but I wouldn't worry about booking through them. Here's something that's pretty cool. Use Google Flights to search for the cheapest dates to travel on. Then enter those same dates into Momondo so Momondo can search the internet for the absolute cheapest price and then book through there. So I told you about a hack earlier. Here it is. If you found a cheap ticket but you're still not sure about the date, buy it. Remember, airlines have to give you at least 24 hours to cancel that flight. Some airlines are better than others. Delta, for example, gives you up until midnight of the following day to cancel your ticket. So if you change your mind or if you found a cheaper price somewhere else, you can cancel it and book it there. So one thing that I kind of left out is buying tickets on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So the rumor has it that if you buy tickets on those days, they're generally cheaper. That's hit or miss. It's definitely not true, but it's definitely not false. It's worth to wait until those days of the week to try to see if the ticket is cheaper. But remember, like I said, if you book it, you have up until 24 hours to cancel it. Remember that. A lot of people forget about that. Another way to get cheap tickets is by using miles, but I'll make another video about that later. Let me know if you have any tips and write them down in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'll catch you later.